welcome to another exciting episode of Wave the Brush with me, your host, Kris, aka the Name Butcher, aka Hey You Get Off My Lawn, aka Kris, you're being creepy again. Wave the Brush, the most informative 120 minutes on the internet on the wargaming lifestyle. We'll talk about painting, terrain, conversions, and just about everything under the sun. If you're a first-time viewer, we do a lot of painting talk, but as well, we do a lot of what's under the sun, meaning no topics are barred. We'll talk about anything and everything. So, be warned. If you want to keep the conversation on the hobby side of things, be sure to ask your questions in the chat, whichever direction it might be in for you. And if you're watching this after the fact, you can always submit your questions and such to Kris@weightofthebrush.com. It is in the description below. If you're going to send pictures as attachments. Do not send them as links to other sites because I won't do it. It's annoying, and it's just because there's ads and stuff like that. So be sure to send them as attachments in the email. Also in the description below is a link to weightofthebrush.com. Central hub of all this silliness, has the links to all the social medias as well as Discord. Join us on Discord. It's a lot of fun. We keep the conversations rolling there, and so feel free to join us on the Discord because, you know, it's a lot of fun. Only one rule in the Discord. It's only one rule. Don't be a dick. That's it. That's the only rule. Also at weightofthebrush.com, you'll find a link for t-shirts. Want to get yourself a t-shirt? Look like a connoisseur of all that is good and holy in this world. They're wearing a Way the Brush t-shirt. And if you purchase yourself a shirt, send a picture of yourself in your shirt. Now add it to the Monkey Shrine, which is also at weightofthebrush.com. And of course, you'll find a link for Patreon. Huge thank you to all my patrons for their continued support, and all you brand new ones as well. A huge, huge thank you. Without your support, the channel would not be able to continue to do what it is that I do, and so a huge thank you to everybody who allows me to continue to do what I do. If you're not able to support monetarily, i.e. money, thumbing up the video, liking, following, subscribing, commenting, ring the bell, blah, 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 algorithm gods be appeased. So a huge thank you to everybody who does that. All it takes is a couple of clicks of a button, and you're helping me out a great deal. And so a huge thank you to everybody who does that as well. Big thank you to Carl, Guymere Alfer, Beer and Blood Bowl. It's his YouTube channel. Check it out. If you love yourself some beer, you love yourself some Blood Bowl. Beer and Blood Bowl is where it's at. We always take time to thank Carl, even though he is no longer with us, for taking the time out of his busy day to create the email jingle before the email segment of the show. And so always much love to Carl. And of course, speaking of love, much love to my baby brother Evan for creating the intro, outro music that plays the begin and end of the show. And so always much love to my baby bro Evan. And if you're into rare comics, rare, we're talking rare people, rare. EB Comics, in the description below. Or if you're into beefcakes. I always got to throw that one out there as well. If you're into beefcakes, then, you know, good stuff. Who's joining us today? I can see Evan Belleau. What's up, everybody? Sophie. Happy Saturday. All you lovely, amazing people. Stop whatever you're doing. Turn on your computer and pick up your phone. It's Way the Brush time. Disco. Hey there, Kris. Hey, everyone. Will Holick. Well, hello, creepy family. Yeah, it is a bit of a family. And it's a little bit creepy. So it's a creepy family. I get it. Nick Jones, happy Saturday, Kris and Monkeys. Happy Saturday. Sir Peanut Butter. Morning, Kris and Peeps. Morning. Will Holick, I'm painting my Heresy Imperial Fist. You picking up some Heresy Imperial Fists. Very, very cool. Yeah, I'm sitting on a bunch of Heresy Space Marines. I still am, like, hemming and hawing. Now, I mean, I got a bazillion projects in front of me, like many of you, I'm sure. And yeah, right now, I am in the process of cleaning my office. I was not as productive cleaning out the office this week as I was tending to other things. But yeah, I'm in the process of kind of just like getting a bunch of crap off my desk. That's just, you know, and yeah, and you may or may not notice it's a little bit more orderly back here. I also put all the paints. You can see my table's like full of paints. It's not a flex. It's not a flex. It's not a flex. It's not a flex. It's a lot of paint, though. It's a lot of paint. I'm spoilt for paint. Scott Radom, hey kids, I'm painting a squat, or whatever they call them now. They're still called squats. Well, if you are from Necromunda, you still call them squats. Necromunda being obviously people who are of a certain demographic, age-wise. Everybody else, the rest of the galaxy knows them as the Leagues of Votan or the Demiurge. Now, I'm curious to see if we do get that connection between like the Demiurge and the Leagues of Votan and like how they fit into it, right? Because in one of the lore articles that they had put on the Warhammer community, it kind of alludes to, you know, the early contact to the Leagues of Votan for the Tau. And if you look at some of the League's weapons, they kind of look like Tau weapons. If you kind of look at some of the shapes of some of the guns and stuff like that, and the way the vent designs and everything like that, that looks like Tau. And I wonder if it's kind of a Tau were helped out in some point by the Leagues at, you know, 3,000 years ago or whatever the heck it is in 40k universe terms. Like, were they there giving the Tau a helping hand as far as, you know, developing their technology and, you know, inspiring them to do certain things? You know, it's just kind of interesting how they're going to kind of like, you know, the squats, you know, apparently disappeared from 40k, but they've always kind of been there. And I think that's kind of interesting that, because, you know, there may not have been a tabletop army of them for a long time, but in the lore, they're still around, right? And so I think that's kind of interesting. It's kind of fun, you know. It doesn't feel too much like a shoehorn. It just feels like, you know, finding an old pair of shoes and that still fit, you know. It's kind of like that, I think. Or maybe I'm projecting, I don't know. Will Hollick, they're called tiny people. Oh, the squats? We call them tiny people now? Yeah. We got to be all PC about it. Fumble. Hello, Kris in chat. Hello, Fumble. 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 Sir Peanut Butter, I feel flexed on. No, I swear to God, it's not a flex. I'm not bragging. It's not a brag. It's not a brag. It's not a flex. It's, you know, it's really what it is. It's some first world problems for you. That's what it is. It's first world problems. So if you want a definition of first world problems, that's it. Oh man. Let's jump in over to the G-Dub side of things. Let's see what's for pre-orders today. They're finally releasing the Warcry Heart of Gur. I was not sent a review copy of this, so you'll see no video from me on this. Unless, of course, I pick it up afterwards. Which is tempting. It's very tempting. I like the terrain. I like the gang in it. The Rotmeyer. Yeah, they're pretty cool. The Horns of Hashut are cool looking models too, but I don't know. Like, I like them, but they're not like, you know, my flavor, right? I mean, like, they got some really cool elements to them, and I can easily see myself poking my fingers on those horns every time I go to pick up or move one of these models. That's not to discourage anybody from picking them up, but I can easily see myself getting jabbed by those little spiky points once in a while. Yeah, they're cool looking models though. Like, they are cool looking. But these guys are way more interesting, in my opinion. I don't know, just everything about them. They're just kind of freaky deaky. They're kind of like these reeds and I don't know what are those shoes that are like stilts. What are those called? There's got to be a name for that, right? There's got to be a name for that. Because I'm sure it's not like he suffers from, like, you know, height envy. You know, he's really self-conscious about his stature. Maybe he is. I don't know. Yeah, but a lot of these models, like, they're pretty darn cool looking. I like these Swampmire duders, or Rotmeyer Swampmire. The terrain looks cool. The trees are freaky. Why there's a big skull in the tree, I have no idea, other than Warhammer. Why is there a big skull there? That's Warhammer. Warhammer's all about the skulls. Skulls and bones. Yeah, the trees have that texture on them. Ooh, that's freaky. I never noticed that. The trees have that texture, like skin almost. Ew. Anyway, it's up for pre-order for everybody who's been waiting for this. I know there are many of you out there who love them some Warcry. I have never played the game myself, so, you know. Lots of sprue. Yeah, the terrain is really cool. Bones. Even the Thondia set with the Incarnate, I still want to paint that. I have not assembled it, but I do want to paint it. I do have an inkling to paint it. Very, very cool. And then, of course, everybody who's getting the Heart of Gurgage. Heart of Gurgage. Say that 10 times fast. Heart of Gurgage. Now, is it like pewter with a plating on it, or is it colored? What is it? Does it tell me what it is? Let's see. It's copper metal finish. They're not going to tell me what it is, are they? No. 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 With a handsome antique copper finish. It's handsome. His mommy said so. Leviathan with the punchy fists. And the Chaos release from last week. Chaos Cultist and Dark Commune with some Chosen and some Venom Crawler and Obliterators. And that's it. Devastation Ball sold out, apparently. So Warcry. Warcry is the big one for today for everybody. So, yeah. Check it. If you're interested. Scott, I got a bunch of new paint. Picked up some fancy, I don't even know how to pronounce that word. 502 acrylics. How do you say that word? Because that looks like a German word. I have no idea if that's German or what, but that's what it looks like. It looks like a German word. Albetung? 502 acrylics, including my third version of Phthalo Green, which unfortunately fulfills the ancient prophecy to end the world. Sorry about it. Your third version of Phthalo Green. What? Scott Radom, la la la, Phthalo, Phlegon. Lord Cthulhu may now rise with his ancient slumber. Oh. Got you. You are making a joke. I get jokes. Sometimes I get jokes. Yeah. How do you actually say that word? Because I know that's Albetung 502. That's from, isn't that AK Interactive? AK Interactive. Acrylics. Piss off. Oh, it's holding the wrong key. Because that's, I want to say it's AK, right? Could be wrong. Are they their own thing? No, AK Interactive, yeah. Okay. I got a whole bunch of paints. Are they in tubes? They're in tubes, it looks like. Now, which is the superior paint? Dropper, paint pot, or tube? Because we always forget about the important tubes, right? Which is superior? Everybody's always in the discussion of no dropper bottles are better than paint pots. No paint pot. Tubes. What about paint tubes? We always forget about paint tubes. Droid Skull. Dot you paint with oils? Dot you paint with oils? Dot you paint with oils? Or do you paint with oil? I do paint with oils. Yeah, do I paint with oils? Yes. A canvas work? Yes, I paint it. I oil paint when I'm painting my canvases. Miniatures? No, not much. I mean, sure. If you want to paint with oils, go right ahead. If you want to paint with acrylics, paint with acrylics. If you want to paint with enamels, paint with enamels, right? The one paint that I've always found fascinating for miniature painting and model painting is enamels. And, I'm, for a long time, I was always intimidated buy enamels on miniatures because there's just such a fast work time with them. And, you know, once I started getting more and more into painting, oil painting, acrylic painting, and stuff like that, and then, of course, you know, enamels, and discovering that they had all sorts of, you know, retardants for the enamels, and, you know, all sorts of different mediums. There was one fella who was doing commission work for mini wargaming, and he worked entirely in enamels. He worked in humbrals, and he wet blended and everything like that. And the models look fantastic. His paint jobs, he had blends on them and everything like that, and he was doing it all with enamels. And it was something that it never even really kind of crossed my mind, because usually people working in enamels, you know, it's usually like airbrush or just touch-up kind of things, right? You're not usually, you know, thinking of like creating blends and stuff like that on a model outside of using an airbrush, right? And he was just, you know, he just does it really fast with a brush. Because I'd asked him, does he work with an airbrush? And he was like, no, I just do it entirely by brush, which I thought was really, really cool. Working with like oil paints, yeah, I mean, like the only benefit for miniature painting, working in oil paints, is the longer dry period, right? You have more time to finesse the blends, as opposed to acrylic. Acrylic, without any additives, you know, dries pretty quickly, as opposed to oil paint. Oil paint can take, you know, days, depending on, you know, what kind of oil paint and, you know, what have you, and how thick you have it on the surface. The thicker the paint, the longer the dry time, right? So, you know, you don't really get that much time, and then it depends on what kind of thinners you're using as well. But as far as like acrylic paints, yeah, I mean, if you really want to work color longer on a model, and you work entirely in acrylic paints, like hobby paints, yeah, just get yourself some, you know, drying acrylic retarder. Vallejo sells a bunch of it, and yeah. But as far as like the difference between using oil paints and acrylic paints with the retardants in them, there's no difference. You get a similar result. Yeah, so this, like, again, it's not a big deal to, you know, people seem to make a big deal about using oil paints on miniatures. It's a means to an end. It's a tool. It's just a tool. And yeah, so it's not a big deal as far as, you know, oh, he's using oil paints. I am often more impressed when people are working by brush with enamel paints, because enamel paints, anybody who's worked with enamel paints knows that shit dries fast. And even if you're working with it in a fairly thicker consistency, yeah, that shit dries fast. Like, you have no time to play around with enamel paints. So enamel paints, I think, are somebody who's a real master with enamel paints. Yeah, I'm impressed by that. Oil paints, sure. Acrylic paints, sure. Enamels, that'll raise my eyebrow. I'm like, oh, really? You did that with enamel paints? Wow, that's impressive. Because again, it's the fast dry time, especially if they're telling me that, like, no, they don't use any additives, and they're just quickly just lay it down and and then, you know, and they're getting that really nice transition going on, and, you know, they're using all the various techniques for it. Yeah, that shit's impressive. It's impressive. Oil paints, not much of a big deal. Acrylic paints, not much of a big deal. Enamels, it's a little bit of a big deal. Just because you got to be fast. You got to know what you're doing. You don't have time to play. See, like, working in oil paints or acrylics with slow dry or a retardant in them, you have all day to play with it, which is why I enjoy it, because, you know, you got plenty of time to hem and haw with your transitions, and, you know what I mean? Like, you have time. You have time to play with the color and figure out where you want to go. Maybe you've pushed the gradient too far this way. Maybe it's got to be this way more. It's not dark enough and not light enough. You know what I mean? Like, there's all these things, and it's a slower process because of the slower dry time. Whereas enamels, especially if you're not using any additives, bang, you got to be committed to your idea, to your vision. You have to be committed to your vision to see it forward. As soon as the brush hits that surface, you're committed to it. Right? Unless, of course, you just go, not screw it. I'm just going to, you know, strip it and, you know, move on, right? Basically, I'm saying is that enamel paints, you got to be committed. You got to know what you're doing. I'll just say that. I'll leave it at that. Droid Skull, do I paint with oils? Not often. On miniatures, no. on canvas all the time. I only work on my canvas pieces. I only work in oils. I prefer oils because, again, it allows me longer work time. And when I'm working with canvas, it takes a week. It takes a week to dry. If I'm waiting between layers, I got to put the painting away. I've also got to put a cloth over it and everything like that so that it doesn't get covered in dust and, all sorts of crazy crap. But I've played around lately in the last little while with acrylic pouring because it was kind of fun. I was seeing a bunch of it on Instagram, stuff like that, and I was like, it's kind of cool. I'd like to try it. And so I did a few pieces of acrylic pouring, and one of them, which was completely unexpected, was one ends up looking kind of like a almost like a Nurgle Eye of Terror type of thing going on. I'd get the piece right now. I'm pretty sure I posted it on my Instagram, and it's kind of greenish with some like red dots in it. Really interesting. And that green, I added no green to the paint. That was just purely yellow and black mixing in the acrylic, and I thought that was really, really fun. It was fun. It was fun. That's all it was. It was fun. Having fun with paint. That's what painting's supposed to be, right? It's supposed to be fun. Sir Peanut Butter. Abteilung, I imagine. Abteilung? Is it a German word? It looks like a German word to me, but I mean, I could be completely wrong. Could be AK. I think they're Spanish. AK is Spanish, I think. Is it a Spanish word? I have no idea. No idea. Let me know. What's the etymology of that word? Scott, rate 'em fancy ass tube paints, bruh. I won't say they're superior, but I feel fancy as fuck, and for sure can look down on those without tubes. Like, are you even serious about painting, bruh? Scott, you never fail, bud. That's what I imagine. That's because everybody's in this stupid ass debate of dropper bottles versus paint pots, and everybody who's using tubes for painting is like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sure there's a meme somewhere where the two are fighting and the third one's like watching from the background. I'm sure there's a meme for it, but yeah, it's dropper bottles and paint pots, and everybody's rah, 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 you know what I mean? And tube painters are like, hey, the real pros paint with tubes. Droid Skull, Mr. Wapple, I love his work. Yeah, I'm trying to remember his first name. James. Yeah, I'm pretty sure famously he paints a lot with oils. I'm pretty sure. Anytime we talk about oil painting in miniatures, yeah, we're talking about Wapple. How do you pronounce the last name? Wapple. Scott, I'll send an email about the mini I painted with them tube paints. Cool, yeah. Fire Drake, drive by dropping like daka 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 like daka daka daka. Droid Skull. Yeah, I'm looking to getting into oils on my minis. Yeah, sure. Go right ahead. Do it. Don't bother with looking for the most expensive oil paints. For your starting, there are plenty of like little hobby sets and like starter packs, even some cheap paint by numbers oil paint sets. Although typically the paint by numbers type of sets will often have pre-described colors in them, as opposed to just having primaries and whatever else for you. But yeah, with oil paints, yeah, in the beginning, if you're not used to it, especially if you're not used to, like if you're still relatively new to a lot of miniature painting techniques and ideas, you're going to open up a whole new doorway of learning before you've learned a lot of other stuff. Not to say that you shouldn't, by all means, go right ahead. But yeah, it's a whole other ball of wax. And so some of the things that you'll see that apply to acrylic painting may not apply when you're heading over to oils. There's only a couple things I can think of off the top of my head. I'm sure there is a substantial list in the differences between the two, but there's only a couple major differences. One of them, of course, being the longer drying time. But I mean, if you have been painting in acrylics and you've been using slow dry, then yeah, oil painting is you're not going to see much of a difference. If you're used to working with acrylic paints, but using acrylic retardants, and you switch over to oils, it's just going to be, more of the same. Like whatever you can do with oil paints, you can do with acrylics. That's pretty much it. You're not. But if you are not familiar with using slow dry retardants in acrylics, then yeah, playing with oil paints is going to be a new thing, a new experience for you. It's a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong, it's a lot of fun. Having more time to work with things, and really, like, the advantage of having longer work times with paint in general is that you have more time to finesse your blends and everything like that. But when you are used to working much quicker with your layering and your glazing, it can take longer with acrylics or with oil paints, either or. Like acrylics, when I say acrylics, I mean like acrylics with additives in them to make them, slower dry times, and oils. But yeah, it'll all feel very familiar if you've already done it. If you have not played with those things, then yeah, it's going to be a new learning experience for you. Sophie. Don't peeps start with enamels when the hobby first started? I would imagine many going from Airfix and Tamiya kits and paints to D&D and Warhammer. Yeah, that's not always the path, but yeah, there's many, especially people of like my age. Yeah, because back in the day, I mean, acrylic paints were not quite what they are today, and enamels were well established. We were already 40 years, 30 years into hobby enamel paints for modeling and stuff like that, right? And that's where I started, because I before I was into Warhammer, I was assembling cars and spaceships, Star Trek, Star Wars, all that stuff. I was into modeling before that stuff. So yeah. Barfing sheep, shit dries fast. Kris 2022. Hello everybody. Hello Barfing sheep. There he is, buddy. Droid Skull, do you own a 3D printer? I do not. I do not own a 3D printer. For a while, I don't know if they kept up with it, but when Mini Wargaming first picked up a 3D printer, and it fell in my lap to make it happen and get the thing running. So I did that. I'm very used to it. It was a Prusa. I can't remember which Prusa it was, but it was a Prusa. Anyway, set that up, and it's fun. It took a bit of work. It was like only a day to get it happening. Test prints take forever. It was a PLA printer. PLA is the filament, right? Or which is the resin? Is the resin PLA? I can't remember which one's which. But yeah, anyway, doesn't matter. But otherwise, no, I don't own a printer. I would love to pick up one. I hem and haw between PLA or filament printing and resin printing. The resin printer, I love what I see from a lot of like digital sculptors and stuff, and for models and stuff like that. But where I've been really feeling something tugging at me is more of the larger scale prints. Not for terrain, not for wargaming, actually more for along the line of like prop and cosplay type stuff. That's where I would see real value out of a 3D printer. Miniatures, printing miniatures, man, it takes too fucking long. It takes too fucking long to print a miniature. I mean, even if you printed up a whole bunch of them. Like if you own like a resin printer, doing miniatures, yeah, no problem. My ping is spiking. Why is my ping spiking? Don't know what's going on. Anyway, so yeah, like it's a hobby unto itself. 3D printing. It's a hobby unto itself. It's not ready for hobbyists everywhere to go. Oh, I need this because it's going to offset the cost of my miniatures and blah blah blah, right? And I don't know. I see this crazy ass argument that 3D printing is going to destroy all the miniature companies. Well, if that occurs, then wargaming itself will die, because if there's no companies, there's no money to be made, then nobody's going to make anything new, and everybody's just going to be pockets of their own made up games, and nobody will, like, tournaments will disappear, all these things, right? You only have, it'll only be like town to town kind of thing, right? So, there won't be one centralized, face to a particular game system, right? If they go out of business, any of them, doesn't pick your company, if everybody is printing their own crap, right? Droid Skull, I'm thinking about getting into 3D printing to print my own armies for Age of Fantasy. Sure. Take forever, but go right ahead. See, the other thing that I'm not crazy about with the 3D printing is that the resin currently that gets printed is very, very brittle. It's brittle. Like candy taffy, not taffy, like peanut brittle. You know what I mean? Like, it's like brittle. And what about converting? What about converting to miniature? You know what I mean? Like, then you gotta go, like, you have to be the sculptor, the printer, and the painter. You have to be all of it to make a really great looking model. Because, like, what if you get, like, for example, something like an alternate Space Marine sculpt? Because I know there's plenty of those out there. And, you want to change his gun, or you want to change the pose. Well, you've got to do that in the 3D print. You got to do that in the 3D modeling. So that you got to also be a 3D modeler, as well as knowing how to work your machine, because the machine will always need recalibrating. And then, of course, you got to paint the damn thing until, the self-painting 3D printers are around. And then when those get introduced, that'll be another hobby unto itself. You know what I mean? Like, the 3D printing thing is a hobby in itself. It's not a mass market type of thing. It's not there yet. It will be very shortly. And the printing your own miniature and it's painted, yeah, that's around the corner. I'm sure of it. Will it kill the hobby? No. But it will change the way we all, get our models for gameplay and stuff. But as far as, like, miniature painting, miniature painters will always continue to paint the miniatures. Will there be more? Will there be more of a demand for it? Probably not. But anyway, where am I? Sir Peanut Butter, German for department, detachment, battalion, used to refer to military divisions. Isn't AK a Spanish company? Why would they use, like, a German term for that? Scott Random, tube paints, droppers, and jars. It's like the PC gamer listening to the plebs argue about PlayStation and Xbox. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the meme I'm thinking of. Yes, it's Xbox and PlayStation people arguing back and forth while the PC gamer, the PC master race, as it were. My daughter, longtime console, then became a PC user, and she's now part of the PC master race, apparently. Scott, I believe, I'm not even going to try it, was famous Heavy Panzer Unit and famous Tiger Ace, and I can't believe I forgot his name. Why can't you believe you forgot his name? Why would that be at the forefront of your brain, a famous Tiger Ace? I could Google it, but prefer this confused feeling I have now. Dark Vision, afternoon, Kris and Monkeys, afternoon. Jonathan Walensey, my oil paint always rubs off without varnish, even after weeks. That's possibly the primer, possibly the brand of oil paint. You can't blame the oils on your fingers because, well, it's oil paint. Yeah, I'm likely to think with the oil paints, it's the primer. Not enough grab for the oil paint to settle on and to grab hold of. Also, could be the paint, maybe it's a longer drying period, but also if you are using oil paints for your gaming miniatures, that's going to wear anyway. Because even under, like, using, say, like a Rust-Oleum spray paint, and you just sprayed your models just one color, handling those models, throwing them in their boxes, bringing them to games, stuff like that, like, you're going to chip and wear at the paint. It's just the nature of the game. Paint is not forever. Look at cars. You have to baby a car forever in enclosed spaces and protect that paint job forever for it to look nice, right? But a car's paint job wears right off. The sun, the elements, everything like that. And wargaming miniatures is the same thing, which is why if you're a gamer, you should varnish your models if you've spent any time and love on the paint job. You should seal your models if they're for gaming. I did a video a little while ago. That was a while ago, actually, about varnishing or not varnishing. And yeah, it's just mainly geared towards gamers versus painters. Painters, if it's going to sit on your shelf for ages, yeah, who cares? Just don't put it in direct sunlight, right? Because the sun will fade the paint. But otherwise, yeah, if you're a gamer, yeah, you should varnish your models. You should. The paint still is going to wear, but at least it's not going to be as fast, right? We're talking like heavy use, but I think you get my point. Greenleaf, do you even wax your mustache? Do I even? I try to be as even as possible. Yes, I try. Scott, there it is. Thanks, Dark. Ease the shame. Personally, I don't mind being reminded or corrected conversationally versus just Googling shit. Feels old-fashioned and proper. Thanks, Dark. Kim, hey, I'm a bit late, but I did manage to catch the show live at least. Well, welcome, Kim, welcome. George, over on Twitch. I started with Humbrol paints and painting metal military historic miniatures. Yeah, I didn't do the like historic military or historic miniatures. Mine was, cars and spaceships. That was my jam before wargaming. When I was a kid, I was only like 10, 11 doing that. And sniffing glue. Lots of glue sniffing. Rumen Matnov. Hey, everyone. Hey, Kris. Greenleaf Terrain. You don't need to print a dildo. You can buy those. Right, exactly, right? And that's, I mean, like, he's making a joke there, but it's true. You don't need to print a dildo. You can just go buy one, right? And so why do I need to print Space Marines when I could just go buy it, right? Like, for example, if you and I, we have a game tomorrow, and you gonna spend minimal amounts of money and print your models, and I'm gonna spend whatever amount of money I want, I'm gonna go buy Space Marines. And who's gonna be ready for the game tomorrow, right? It's not that easy. It's time. If you have a lot of time on your hands for multiple hobbies, well, you've got too much time on your hands, but if you got time for multiple hobbies, 3D printing and miniatures and wargaming, yeah. And it seems like, for the most part, people who really, really clamor to 3D printing, it's more of the wargamers. It's the people who want to be part of the meta, but don't want to constantly shift armies all the time, which is why they see the hobby in such expensive terms. Now, don't get me wrong, this hobby is expensive, but any hobby is expensive when you really boil it down. But yeah, it's not like I see a ton of miniature painters who are, very vocal about 3D printing. It's always the wargamers. It's the wargamers who are really, on the 3D printing bandwagon. It's not really a bandwagon, but because 3D printing is the future. It is the future, but is it where everybody thinks it is? No. Sir Peanut Butter. Love seeing these things like 3D printed helmets and stuff. Yeah, exactly, right? And that's this kind of stuff. Like if you look at my Instagram, my TikToks, my reels, whatever, it's a lot of cosplay. And I go to the RPF all the time, and yeah, I always have that cosplay bug. Yeah, the Space Marine suit, like making your own Space Marine suit. Like, are you even a war gamer until you've completed? It's like Jedi finishing their lightsaber. That's how I envision it. Are you really a wargaming fanatic? A fanatic until you have a suit of Space Marine armor, right? It's kind of like that. I know it's pretty dumb, but that's how my dumb brain works. So, Ruben Matnoff, I've been pondering a 3D printing setup for the past week. The time sink is the biggest argument against so far. Yeah, it's because it is. There's a lot of configuring. There's a lot of troubleshooting, and there's a lot of looking for the solution to a problem that you may or may not have, if it even is the problem, right? So if you're going to get into 3D printing, well, then you definitely, and I'm sure you probably already have been, going into groups, Facebook groups and Discord groups and whatever groups, right? And where everybody's talking 3D printing. It just doesn't have to be wargaming related. It could be, 3D printing in general. And yeah, but it is a huge amount of time. And even after you've done all that and you've calibrated the head and you've gotten everything set properly and you start the print, even something like that big, right, can take anywhere from 8 to 16 hours to print. At least when I was playing with PLA. PLA? Is that the right printer I'm talking about? PLA? That's the filament. Resin is SLA? Is that what it is? Anyway, I haven't done resin, only filament. And it feels like you have to babysit the shit. So the print could go on for 8 hours. Something somewhere fails, and the print goes all wonky, and you get spaghettification all over the place. For another, if the job was supposed to go for like another 4 hours, and if you're not babysitting the printer, that thing's just running for 4 hours, just spitting out filament everywhere. That's a huge pain. And that's also a loss of time. That's a huge amount of time spent on that one failed attempt. So again, it is very I can't speak anymore. It takes up a lot of your time. But yeah, I mean, 3D printing, the only reason I would get one is for prop making and cosplay. It wouldn't even be wargaming related. Those are the only reasons. I mean, like, yeah, I print up, some wargaming crap if I wanted to or anything like that. And if I got a resin printer, then yeah, I'd be very inclined to, print miniatures and sculpts and terrain and things of that nature. But that the idea of that doesn't excite me as much as the idea of props and cosplay and all those things, right? And also just making art, sculptures, because I'm not much of a sculptor. My sculpting experience is very limited, and it's practical. I was working with clay and and other sculpting materials. Is not digital sculpting. I've made things in digital form, but I wouldn't consider myself, any kind of voice in that regard, as far as, sculpting is concerned. Sculpting is another art form that, hats off all the time. Whenever I see beautiful sculpts from an artist, oh yeah, that's a beautiful sculpt, digital or otherwise. Although it is a personal bias, I am more impressed by people sculpting with actual physical mediums as opposed to a digital sculpt. And that kind of goes back to, excuse me, it kind of goes back to when we were talking about art and everything like that, and NFTs and blah, blah, blah. And digital art versus analog art. I'm more biased towards analog art. Actually sculpting something from a physical medium is more impressive to me than sculpting something in a digital format. Yes, it's tons of details, tons of stuff like that, but it's like oil painting and slow dried paint. You have more time to work and finesse the sculpt, as opposed to working in the physical medium where you have to be committed to your vision. You have to be committed to your vision. Otherwise, you have to start all over again. So you have to make those hard choices right then and there, as opposed to digital, when you can go, oh, you don't like that? Okay, let's go this way. Oh, I didn't like that texture, so I get rid of it. But you know what I mean? Like, where sculpting in a physical medium, you have to be pretty committed. And if the pose isn't working, you have to start all over again, and you have to go again, right? And so you have to be very, very committed to the process and to your vision. You have to be committed to your vision as opposed to working in digital. Digital, you can come back to it a year later and muck around with it, right? So that's why, for me, my bias is towards analog, towards the physical mediums. So actual painting, actual drawing, actual sculpting. And I will use the word actual because the artist has to be committed to that vision to see it forward, as opposed to a digital artist who can work on it spare time, off hours, on the toilet, whatever, and as opposed to sitting down properly and working on it. But that's my own biases towards the subject. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying those are my biases towards it. Disco Kris, 3D printing is viable if time is not a resource constraint. Time is always a resource constraint. I prefer to immediately dive into my hobby. Dealing with managing a printer and waiting for a good output seems too much like work. Right, exactly. But I mean, prints fail all the time. Like, Disco, you've been printing as well, haven't you? I thought you have. I thought I've seen you printing. One of you guys has been printing stuff. And, like, how often does that fail? Because it seems like it's like a 1 in 10 kind of thing, that the print will fail. The table will shake and it knocks the head out of alignment. Or, you know what I mean? Like, there's a bazillion different ways that the print can fail. The more complex something becomes, the more prone it is to failure. Sophie would only get a 3D printer to do busts, action figures, size sculpts, terrain. Wouldn't do standard minis with it. No, yeah. Unless it was resin, right? Resin is the way to go for miniatures, wargaming, stuff like that. You want a resin printer. Filament printing, terrain. Like if you're a wargamer, it's terrain, big stuff, vehicles, you know, all sorts of crazy crap like that, right? And yeah. And if you're downloading free files, you know, of copyrighted stuff, well, you're stealing. You're a thief. It wasn't about a company charging whatever amount for something. It was more than $1, and you just didn't want to pay it, and so theft was the better option. Willholic. Resin printing is a pain in the ass. One wrong setup and it will go horribly wrong. And then you have to try to get the hardened resin from the plastic FEP. I don't know what that is. I have destroyed many of the FEPs. I don't know what the FEP is, but okay. Yeah, so like, exactly. So like resin printing, I imagine fails probably as often as filament printing will. I have no idea. I have zero experience dealing with resin printing. So I could not tell you, but yeah, it just feels like you have to babysit the stuff, right? You always constantly have to go in and check on it. You know what I mean? You have to be a dad or mom, and check on your printing. Like that just, like, you know, whereas I can just walk into a local hobby store, pay my $50, get the box of models that I want, and I'm back at home and working on them within an hour, right? Depending on how long it takes you to get to your thing. How far can you get into your unit working on it for an hour? Never mind just finding the stolen files of that sculpt and bring it into your printer, setting up the supports if you have to, and then printing. How long does it take to print? And then is it always 100% success when you print something? Because in my experience, it's not. It's not 100% success. Whereas walking to the store, going to your local hobby shop, buying a box of models is easier and less time intense. Yes, it costs you money. Everything costs you money. But anyway, 3D printing, as far as I can see, is not where people think it is. Jonathan, well, let's see. You can just print bits for kit bashing. Sure, you can print bits, yeah. Sure. I don't do a lot of kit bashing, and I've been in this hobby for 30 years. I've accumulated a good amount of bits. Room and Matna, for me, is more about the bits rather than the whole models. Love converting, and it's a good way of having custom stuff. Sure. Yeah, I mean, again, you do you. Um, Again, like working with the resin though and customizing it, like it's too brittle. It's too brittle to work with. Like even Forge World resin is far better to work with than 3D printed resin. 3D printed resin is it's you apply any stress and it just snaps. It's a clean snap and it's easy to repair, but still annoying. But still, it's annoying. Now, I'm sure there's probably a 3D resin that is probably a little bit softer and more forgiving, but I have yet to see it, so but I'm sure there is. Dark Commission. As someone wanting to get into 3D printing, I wouldn't go with filament. Resin printing are getting damn good resolution and the price is dropping all the time. I'm interested in art pieces. Sure. Yeah. Again, like for me, 3D printing, I'm not interested in miniatures. Like printing miniatures is low priority for if I get into resin printing or filament printing. Yeah, miniatures, wargaming stuff is low priority. That's not what I'd be using it for, especially because it takes so damn long. You know what I mean? It's got to be something that is not schedule intense, you know, because I mean, from working from home and everything like that, I mean, like I'd be constantly available to, you know, babysit it, but 16 hours for a little thing, that's that. Like, you know, bullshit. Dark Commission. My first paints were very cheap tube paints. Painted a shitload of 172 Napoleonics with them with no problems. Yeah. Scott. Oh, he's talking to Kim. Rumen. FDM is one of the filaments. Yeah, I thought it was PLA. Or is PLA the resin? I can't remember. Fuck. I don't really pay attention to 3D printing. Again, because I'm not actively looking for one, and it's not high on my shopping list of what I need right now. What's the at the peak of my shopping list right now is a new computer. I need a new computer. Dark Commission. As a painter and not a gamer, I'm only interested in printing busts and 170 or 75 millimeter or bigger sci-fi fantasy figures. Loot Studios, amongst others, have fantastic STL files including busts. Sure. Again, I mean, if I got into 3D printing, it's not for wargaming stuff. It's not for miniatures. It'd be for my own efforts or prop and cosplay type stuff. Scott Radom. I won't get into 3D printing until it's advanced to push the button and forget stage. Yeah, exactly. But I tell you, I'm very happy for my close buddies who are into resin printing. I'd be mooching like a mofo. Yeah, if you got friends who got the printer, then yeah, whenever they say, yeah, I'm going to do a print job and, you know, I'm going to do some printing. I've got some files that I want to, you know, print up. Say, hey, is there enough room on the bed for my bit that I would like to get printed? Then yeah, you know, like if you got buddies who are into it, no problem. Even if you have a whole bunch of buddies who all get together and go in on a printer as a collective, you know, and one guy's, you know, two guys paying half, but two other guys are, you know, buying resin, different types of resin, different, you know, like the clear resin or the opaque resin, whatever, right? And somebody, buddy's got the garage space to have the printer running, you know, for 10 hours or whatever, then yeah, that's a good setup, and that seems fair, and, you know, as long as, you know, the files you're using aren't copyrighted and stolen. That always seems the other big one is because it's all stolen files. So many thieves out there. So many thieves. Dark Commission. Geek Gaming has some good vids on comparing resin printers. There's one guy I follow on YouTube. He does printer reviews all the time. I don't know if he does a lot of the resin ones, but he does a lot of the bigger ones. I can't remember what the hell his name is. He's not a wargaming channel or anything like that. He's a 3D printing guy. He's like one of those geeks that is into, you know, I don't think it's Geek Gaming though. Is it? I don't think so, because this guy I don't think is gaming. I'd look it up, but screw it, I'll look it up. I'll probably spike my channel. Let me see here. 3D printing nerd. I think that's who it is. Yeah, it's this guy, 3D printing nerd on the YouTubes. Yeah, I follow this guy's channel, and you know he talks a lot about, you know, this and that tips and blah blah blah, and I check him out. even though I'm like and not in the market at the moment for a 3D printer. Yeah, that's the guy I follow. I don't. Again, again, my feed on YouTube and everything like that. Like, I don't follow a lot of wargaming. If I'm following painting and art and stuff like that, then it's professional artists that I follow. I don't follow wargaming people. And when I'm looking for information on computers, then I follow computer nerds. If I'm looking for information on 3D printing, it's 3D printing nerds. If it's painting nerds. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't really follow a lot of wargaming because, again, we've talked about this many times. In wargaming, miniature painting, it's like the cup at the bottom, and information flows in. And it's, I honestly cannot think of a time when information flows back out from this hobby, this miniature painting hobby. All the techniques, materials, everything like that, it all comes from other sources, and it falls in. And very rarely, if ever, does the information flow back out, and it affects other fields. Airbrushing, an airbrushing person, a professional who does auto body or something like that, and says, yeah, I picked up this technique from miniature painting. Like, I've yet to encounter that. If you have encountered it, please share me a link with it, because I'd like to see. Because miniature painting, all the techniques, all the materials, everything like that, it's all from other places. And yeah, it's not a source of innovation. I guess that's really what it is. It's not a source of innovation. So, yeah. Goddamn mustache hairs. I'm cutting my mustache soon enough. I am. Believe it or not, I am. Don't be surprised one weekend I show up on camera and I'm not sporting a mustache. Yeah, I'm going to cut the damn thing. Should I do it live? Or should I just make a video of just me butchering up my face with a razor? Look like that one character from Emperor's Children. He's the sword master, but he's all slashed up. Anyway, Lucius, that's it. Where the hell am I? Jabba's Left Nut, episode 388. It went wonky, and now I have spaghettification. Spaghettiforcation? Like fornication? Fornication? Fuck, I can't even see the word. Spaghettification? But spaghettifornication? Kim, hey, Kris, you got to refresh Instagram when you get to that. I just posted some stuff. Oh yeah, okay. I'll refresh it right now since my ping apparently has settled down. It's kind of funny that all of a sudden I'm having internet issues, and cable company stopped by yesterday trying to get me to switch back over to the original cable company, because apparently in my neighborhood they are offering fiber optic, so that's why they're walking around trying to entice people to join up, because they're offering fiber optic. I don't think I have fiber optics in my areas, but anyway, or with my current provider anyway. I probably should, but anyway. Dark Commission. I'd be interested in printing with clear resin. This would give the opportunity to light parts of the model with internal LEDs, eyes, armor panels, etc. Yeah, oh yeah, 100%. Like the first thing like I can think of that would look great with the intention of lighting and painting would be like the Balrog from Lord of the Rings. Print a version of that in clear resin and then light it and paint it. That would look fucking amazing. I wish that Games Workshop printed or made more miniatures in clear plastic, because man, imagine all the things we could do if they had like even limited edition type of thing. Although they'll probably charge an arm and leg for it already, but it would be cool though. Like if they did more clear parts for some of these really funky, sculpts, so that you could light them, paint them, and light them, right? Mind you though, clear plastic parts, acrylic paint doesn't grab to it very well. But That's not a huge issue, but I mean, it can be overcome, but it's not something that everybody's ready to deal with. Where the hell am I? Kim, I got 50 gig fiber optic internet. It's insanely fast. Sure. I think what they're offering here is a 1 gigabyte or 100 gigabyte. I can't remember. I got the little brochure. Anyway, it's a fiber optic line, and you know they're enticing us, and you know it's like a no contract thing, and blah 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 blah. You know they're just trying to entice everybody back over, right? In Canada, like Canada has a problem with the telecoms, so in recent weeks that became very, very apparent as half the country was out of internet. So yeah, anyway, you know what, since we were just talking about Instagram, let's do Instagram. I don't have a theme song for Instagram, so I'm just gonna go Instagram. There we go. Yeah. And so first one up is Kim's War Dogs. Let's give that a like. Whoop. Fucking thing crashed on me. Or disappeared. I hit the like and then everything crashed on me. What the fuck is going on here? Why isn't that coming up? Is Instagram pooping on me? No. Let's go back. Kim, what'd you do? Did you break Instagram? Okay, I'm gonna refresh the page again. Hold on. Kim, your post's all messed up. What's going on? What'd you do? What did you do? Now it's gone. Kim, your post's gone. Did you delete your post? What'd you do, Kim? You're talking that 50 gig fiber optic internet. It was so fast that it went back in time. Because I just refreshed the page and the post is gone. Let me refresh again. Hold on. I'm fucking with my eye holes. No, it's still gone, bud. What'd you do? What did you do? Yeah, your post's gone, bud. I don't know what happened. Instagram apparently didn't like your post, Kim. Fucking meta. Fuck this Zuckerberg kid. Oh, it's back. Okay, hold on. Alright. It came back. Somehow. So, looking at some War Dogs. Very, very cool. Oh, looks like you can paint them in different gods. So, we got, like, Black Legion. Very cool. Now, quick question. The armor plates look like they're chipped, but how come the trim, the shoulder trim, the head trim, everything like that, how come that's not chipped? Legit question. Ooh, Nurgly. Neugel. It's Neugel. Me like. Word bearers. Very cool. Oh, excuse me. Night Lords. I like the eyeball. That's cool. That's good stuff. What did you use for the metal bits to weather the metal, like to give it that oxidized look? What'd you use in there? Is it like an oil? Like one of the weathering things? Because I like how bright that is and how intense. Like it's a very orangey brown. It looks really good for like a rust effect. I really like your Titan though. This Titan is fabulous. Fabulous. Not because he's just bright pink. It's a really nice looking color scheme. I like it. And of course, yes, it embodies a Slanesh type of vibe. But yeah. Very, very cool, man. Awesome. Gave it a like. Alright, next piece. This one's from Sophie. Work in progress of Space Marine Reaver. Reaver? Really nice work, Sophie. Yeah. Painting an eyeball. Now, when you are creating those creases in the flesh, like in the scar and on the folds of the forehead and stuff like that, I would come back in with your base color and push those shadows back a bit. Or just leave it and carry on. Very, very cool. Is it like a Dark Angel dude? Is that what we're doing? Ooh, disco. A face only a mother could love. Work in progress on my Keeper O secrets. Did I give the last one a like? Yes, I did. Very, very nice work. I love the colors. Really nice work on the headpiece, the gemstones, the color. I like that, the edging on the mouth. Yeah, I dig it, man. Really nice work. I even like because it looks like you're going for a bit of a non-metallic metal on the headpiece. And I like that little splash of green in the shadows in there. I dig that. I dig it. I dig it. Yeah, that's looking good, man. Keep going. Keep going. It's going to take you a bit, but take your time. Don't be in a rush. Don't be in a rush. That's some really great work, though. The Auditor 19s. Give that a like. Finished another 5 Vortex guards, spurred on by those I finished last week for the Warhammer Paint-a-thon. Just a basic contrast parade ready paint scheme for those basic line troops. Very, very cool. Oh, lots of pics. Yeah, I like for fast paint job. Yeah, it looks great. Tabletop, bang. Better than what I can say for most of my army. Yeah. Very, very cool. Simply mini painting. The Great Angel. Who is this guy? I'm joking. I know damn well who it is. Very, very nice. I like this little leopard print on his skirt. Oh, he actually has a leopard on his shoulder. I never even noticed he has a cat on him. I didn't know that. I guess I never really paid attention to the model. I mean, it's a cool sculpt and all, but yeah, I'm like honestly, the Primark models, yeah, they don't really do it for me. I don't really care. I mean, some of them are cool, you know, but meh. Anyway. Huron Belmont. Updated Goliath roster. Oh, cool. So he's got his big Goliath monstrosities in the background. Getting ready for some Necromunda. Oh, you even got the squat duder? Damn, I'm still missing the squat. I need to pick up that squat. And I like the little halfling cook. And the old school Vansar model. That's cool. Well, he's probably a hired gun, I think. I think that model, like on the lower left, it's an old hired gun, I believe. He looks like he has elements like a Vansar model, but I'm pretty sure that was initially made as a hired gun. The guy in the middle, though, is not very familiar. But yeah, really nice. I really like your ogre. The Ogren Pit Slave Duder, whatever he's called. Yeah, he's really cool. Oh, we saw this one already. All right. If you want me to have a look at your Instagram, well, or whatever post you're sharing, whatever models, feel free to use the hashtag Way of the Brush, and it'll appear on this segment of the program. And so I fully welcome and encourage everybody. If you are looking more for a critiquing of your work and things of that nature, I prefer people submit an email with pictures. So, because I usually on Instagram, I usually just have a look and give it a like and all that, and yeah, I usually don't get in depth as far as like your paint job or anything like that, or I try not to anyway. I try not to. But I mean, there's a lot of fantastic work people have been sharing. Some people have been sharing their workspaces, like actual painting and stuff. What? What? Where are we in the comments? I have no idea. Barfing Sheep, 88 mile per hour internet. Kim, it's totally fine on my end. Sure. It was Instagram. I don't know. I refreshed the page like 5 times, and it wasn't until like the last time that it came back, and it seemed fine. Why? I have no idea why that would mess up like that, but whatever. Rumen Matanov. It's always interesting to hear about how slow fiber's spreading. We had fiber 15 years ago when I was still in university. Then it's only been a thing for 2 years where I live today. Well, yeah, I mean, like for internet, it was big centers that would get the, well, back in the day, it was what, like the T1 lines or whatever. And yeah, so yeah, it's slow. And Rumen, are you in Canada? I don't know. I don't think you fully appreciate how far things are spread out in Canada. So laying pipe in Canada, it takes a while. No, laying cable. That's it. Laying cable, not pipe. Laying pipe is something else. Gotcha. Kim, I just forgot to chip the metals. I used the dirty down verdigris and rust. Night is next. Okay, cool. Dirty down. Is that the one that you were showing on Discord the other day? They come into like the little clear bottles, whatever. Have the big labels on them. Scott rated them. Nice stuff, Kim and Sylvie. Yeah. Kim, posted that to so it should come up. The Knight and Trader Commissar in 2 posts. What? What? Barfing Sheep. Kris is into edging on the mouth, but that's no secret. No, that's true. That's very true. Hey, don't be kink shaming me, man. Don't kink shame. Be no kink shaming in this house. Even though I do it all the time. Scott, Kris, I have either Squat Necromunda dude, new in package. Let's do a trade. Okay, well, all right. What do you want? What are you looking for? I might have it. You tell me. And yeah, we'll do a trade, bud. We'll discuss it over Discord. Just send me a thing in Discord, like what you're looking for. Think of a wish list, as it were. I was doing a bit of pantomime. Make a wish list. I don't know why the hand did that, but anyway. Kim, you got issues with Instagram. I did 3 posts and only 1 showed up, but fuck it. I'll send an mail real quick. Sure. Rumen, no, I'm in Europe. Scale of distances is different indeed. Oh yeah, 100%, dude. I mean, majority of Europe fits in 2 provinces of Canada with 12 more provinces, or 10 more provinces, really, but anyway, yeah. Yeah, so it takes a while. Even like the power lines and stuff like that, like they run for miles upon miles just to get power to a city. And it's an endeavor because, again, the vast distances between things. Like cities, like okay, where I am in the Niagara Peninsula of Ontario, Welland is in the middle. There's a town less than half an hour south. There's a bigger town less than half an hour north. Niagara Falls, the infamous Niagara Falls, is less than a half an hour east. And west, the next biggest town is Hamilton, and that's an hour west. So, and those are the closest towns. Then yeah, there's farmland and shit in between, but if we're talking town to town, yeah, it's yeah. Anyway, Barfing Sheep. When do I ever kink shame? It's my job to deliver smut to this stream when it gets too serious. I carry this heavy burden with pride. What's the quote? Heavy hath the crown, or how's that quote go? Anyway. What time we at here? Oh. Jeez. I didn't realize how long we were gum flapping for. We were gum flapping, and yeah. We be gum flapping. Bum 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 bum. Sorry, I'm just checking my crap here. Everything's good. You said you posted 2 more things on Instagram? I'll refresh again. No, now your fucking post disappeared again, Kim. Look at this. This is craziness. Like, okay. So here's. I just refreshed. Here, I'll refresh again. Okay, refresh again. Boom. Let's refresh. Boom, boom. Takes forever. Oh, the night's here, but your other post is gone. What the fuck? Kim, what are you doing? the close-ups of the night are there. Oh, you added rust to the pink. That's very cool. Yeah. Yeah, I do like that rust. Whatever that rust color is, I do like that. And it finishes what? Clear, right? That's the way it looks. It looks like it's a clear. So it gives you all that metallic goodness underneath. Yeah. Very, very cool. Yeah. Oh shit, did I give that a like? I didn't even give that a like. There. I clicked the like again and it disappeared. Nice. Fuck Instagram. I was actually just telling my wife yesterday that I'm seriously considering pulling my presence from Facebook and Instagram. There's like next to no benefit to being a creator on these platforms, because all these, either Facebook or Instagram, all they keep asking me for is money. They keep asking me for money. Money. And the traffic for these on these platforms is like fucking non-existent. I've refreshed this page 3 times now. Yeah, the fucking posts keep disappearing, Kim. I don't know why. I don't know why. Where the hell am I? Kim, I did a pic of the Dirty Down products in the mail. I really love them. Water-based, and they can be reactivated with water for feathering it out and removing it. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Now, does it reactivate once you seal it? Like, because oftentimes if you lay it down, right, and you put the sealant on top, does it feather out and soften, or does it stay, like, if you've built a crisp line on something, does it stay crisp line, or does it feather out as it reactivates because of the varnish? That's a question, Kim. Roman Matnoff, as the meme goes, North America, a concert next to where I live, just 300 miles. Europe, I'm not driving to fucking France for that. Yeah, exactly, right? Like, driving an hour and a half to go see a show in Toronto, because that's how, well, it's a little less than 2 hours to Toronto, which is a big Canadian city for anybody who's not familiar with it. And yeah, that's nothing. That's a day trip. 2 hours there, 2 hours back. Especially on the Canadian highways where there's like very minimal highway system, like good fast highway systems. There's only like one way in, one way out, one way this way, one way out. Like it's just it's garbage. It's garbage. it's crap. The infrastructure in Canada is not like in the States. The States has really great roads when they're upkept. But in Canada, no, they're fucking garbage. Canada's garbage. Where the hell am I? Kim, fuck that Insta shit. I sent the email. Yeah, okay. Cool. Yeah. We will get to the emails in a moment. Oh, yeah, I see. Yeah, emails. I got one from Scott. I got one from Kim. 2. All right. Yeah, we'll get to the emails here in a moment. Yeah, because Instagram, I don't fucking know. Like, what the... Again, like I said, I'm seriously considering dropping Instagram and Facebook. Fuck that. It's just... It's kind of garbage. Same with a lot of social media. I find it's just kind of fucking garbage. Twitter, because it's different, so I'll keep Twitter. TikTok, I've been having a lot of fun with TikTok. And discoverability is really good on TikTok. Instagram, Facebook, fucking garbage. YouTube is just kind of, a presence. Even with Twitch discoverability is garbage on Twitch. It's garbage. It's garbage. And all of these companies, being from the perspective of a content creator, they're all becoming very samesies. And so the only difference is which one do you want to dump money into? And that's all these companies are ever asking of the content creators. And doesn't that seem kind of unethical to be, for a content creator to have their work noticed? Otherwise, you're not going to push their content organically, of course. They have to pay for it. When they make revenue from that content, they put ads in front of your content. So I think that no matter what size a content creator is, they should opt in or out of ads. If you're not going to push their content, then you should not show any ads in front of their stuff. That seems unethical to me. But who says social media companies, any of them, are ethical? Because I haven't seen it from any of them. So anyway, not like I'm the moral barometer of ethics or anything like that, but I think you get my point. Sophie, my connection went wonky. Have I missed anything? You being kinky again, Chris? Me being kinky? No, I'm not being kinky. No. I was just talking about no kink shaming, that's all. No kink shaming. Creepy? Yes. Kinky? Not all the time. The Barfing Sheep, he has Sophie, and I had nothing to do with it. Bullshit. I call bullshit on that. Sophie, I like the night. Yeah, the night's really good. Kim's probably going to give us another dose of the night. That didn't sound right. But anyway, yeah, because he sent an email, so. Kim, no, you got to rub that shit like hell to reactivate it. Stays on when you spray varnish over it. Oh yeah, it stays nice and crisp when you varnish it. Okay, that's cool. I wasn't sure. Well, because like when you describe reactivating it with water, and most of the paints, as far as like we're often using, is water-based acrylics. Having the paint reactivate underwater kind of seems, like if that's the intention of how that product's supposed to work, great. But I was just curious that when you put varnish over it, does it soften or anything like that? Because that tends to be one of the issues I have with some of these colors that reactivate under water or other, mediums, and is that, like if you've created a really great like a weathering streak, and then you put the sealant over it, and that weathering streak softens and you can see it bleeding out, right? That's what I don't care for. I don't like when paint does things that I don't want it to do, or that I did not intend for it to do. I don't like when paint does that. And that, to me, these tools should always obey and do as you command, right? It's like computers. Computers are the same way. A computer should only do what you want it to do, and that is it. It should not take any liberties doing things without your permission. And paint and tools are the same way. They should not be doing things on their own or unexpectedly. Sophie, will you will you be doing Discord work in progress instead of Instagram then, Kris? I could, like, because like the Discord, so many of you guys share so much, if I decide to just completely cut Instagram out, I may. Again, like, if I cut the Instagram portion of the show out, that's because I left Instagram. I dropped Instagram. So I hem and haw over it all the time. And the only reason that I really hem and haw over it is because Facebook and Instagram are constantly asking me for money. You know what I mean? It's kind of like I'm dealing with the church here, for God's sakes. They're just constantly asking me for money. I don't fucking feel like giving them any money. Because why? Because they're fucking selling my information anyway. They're putting ads in front of my shit anyway. So why are they asking me for money? If I'm a content creator on any platform, you should not be asking the people for money so that people can see your content. Otherwise, you fucking block their content, right? Like, there's no discoverability. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. The only way it makes sense if it's unethical. If you are all about unethical practices, well, then carry on. But it's not ethical. And if you can't conduct business ethically, then you really shouldn't be conducting business. Nobody should be doing business with you. Kim, that's why I do oil weathering over after I seal the models, then varnish. Don't fuck with oil paint finish. Sure. Yeah. No, I've really never had any problems with oil paints, stuff like that. But even with regular water-based acrylics, yeah. Again, I mean, like, everything that you can do in oil painting, you can do in acrylics, right? Like, although it has been a while, but are there oil-based metallic paints? There's got to be. Somebody's got to be creating metallic oil-based paints, right? That's the only thing I've never really played with is metallic oil-based paints. Or, like, oil-based metallic colors. Is anybody doing that? It's got to be. Typically with oil painting, and if you see any metallics in the oil paint, typically it's gold leaf or silver leaf. There's got to be somebody doing metallic paints for oils. Gotta be. Kim, and the streaking on the armor plates of the knight is done with oils. All the metal and moss weathering is done with the dirty down stuff. That's what it's called, dirty down? Silly name. Jabba's left nut. So you're basically saying Facebook and Instagram are like kids with their hands out. Gimme, 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 fucking gimme. Yeah, that's what it is. I'm like, Facebook and Instagram, they're constantly asking me for money. Anytime I do anything on Instagram, it always fucking it's asking me for money. Facebook asking me for money. YouTube doesn't ask me for money. They just take my money. TikTok doesn't ask me for money. Twitter definitely doesn't ask me for money. Like, now I'm not saying these companies are better than the others. They're all equally scum in my opinion. But Facebook and Instagram annoy the fuck out of me with their constant bombardment of, yeah, you want to give us more money so people see your posts? Like, nobody's seeing my posts anyway? Like, you're going to hide my posts if I don't give you money? Like, that seems like I'm getting held up. Like, that's a hold up. I'm getting jacked, man. Like, I'm getting robbed. Kim, don't think there is a metallic oil paint out there. Think the wax-based are the closest. Oh, really? Dark Commission. Winsor Newton do metallic oil paints. Do they? Well, then. That's interesting. Yeah, I wasn't sure. Metallic. Not Metallica. Metallic oil paints. Winsor Newton. Okay. Williamsburg Oil Paints. Ooh, they got all sorts. Who's Williamsburg? Of course, the fucking site's not coming up. Jackson Art. These are metallics. Yeah. Iridescence. Oh, it's part of their iridescence. Yeah, so Williamsburg Oil Paint. Iridescent gold, iridescent copper, iridescent silver, pearl white, pewter, and bronze. Look at that. How many mils are those bottles? Or is it in ounces? Is it American? 37 mils. 37 mils. And how much does it cost? Holy fuck! Holy fuck. Did you see the price tag, people? I'll show you the price tag. Right there in the middle. All right. So anybody who complains. Anybody who complains is a little bitch, first of all. Anybody who complains that fucking paint is ridiculously expensive for 37 milliliter tubes, mind you, these are premium. This is elite stuff here. These are in tubes. Recommended retail is $162. Their price, $114. You're getting a fucking deal there. $114 for 6 tubes. I don't want to hear anybody bitch about the cost of paints. Holy fuck. I don't want to hear any more complaints about the cost of anything. The cost of anything. For 37 milliliter tubes. Do I have any tubes? No, I don't have any tubes accessible here, do I? The Artisans. Hold on. What size are the Artisans? What size are the Artisans here? Big thanks to Grim for sending me this set. These are 22 mil tubes. So these are 22 mil tubes. And they're a good size. So 32s, right? These are 22s. So 32, 10 more. So I'll probably add another centimeter onto the size of this. And 6 tubes of that for a retail of 162. Get the fuck out of here. That contrast paint costs too much. Get the fuck out of here. Fucking plebs. You're getting fucking jacked for $162 for 6 tubes. 6. Holy fuck. That literally made my eyes pop. Literally. My eyes popped. Oh, Rembrandt does metallic oil paints? Okay. Oh, I have these ones. These are acrylics, though. These aren't oils. Yeah, I have these ones. I have a bunch of these. I bought them when I was at last time I was in Chicago. When I went to Blick's, I picked up these ones. I have a whole bunch of these little tubes. Or not tubs. $62 for 6 of those. See, that's not hilarious because those are big jars. Those are big jars. But yeah. I have a bunch of these jars. And they're what? 2.2 fluid ounces. Whatever that is in milliliters. It's probably a lot. Because they're big jars. But that's more for like, scrapbooking and, canvas work and art projects and blah, 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 right? So, anyway. I'm still laughing at $162 for fucking tubes. That's $162 probably US. So that's like fucking 210, 220 Canadian. I don't want metallic oil paint that badly. I'll wait for a sale. Kim, so I think that people use lacquer-based metallic instead of oil. Yeah, probably. Well, I mean, lacquer-based paint is essentially oil paint. Lacquer-based paint is essentially oil paint. Yeah, there's a few differences, but they're essentially a similar thing. Jabba's Left Nut. Facebook, the Dick Turpin on social medias. Fuck, what? Are you having a stroke? I didn't understand that sentence. Facebook the Dick Turpin on social medias. My fucking brain hurt reading that. Sophie, well, if you drop Instagram, I'll just have to email it. Instead, that's when I actually do post anything. Yeah, well, I mean, continue to use the Instagram. I'm just considering it. I'll probably, I mean, when you no longer see Way the Brush on Instagram, is you'll say, oh, yeah, Kris finally dropped it. You won't be surprised when I finally do. Because, yeah, if these assholes keep it up, then, yeah, I'm probably going to just, or stop posting. And I'll just, no, because then they still can fucking get ads off my fucking content that I create. So, fuck them. Shit. But yeah, Sophie, no, continue to use the hashtag. Send me emails. Whatever you want to do. I welcome any and all ways of reaching out and sharing. So if you feel like sharing your efforts, please. I don't share the Discord stuff, although maybe I should just switch everything to Discord and just, because Discord's so much fun. I mean, I pay for Discord, but I don't look for discoverability of Discord other than, sharing the link with you guys here on this show. But yeah. Fuck. I'm still laughing about that price. That just kind of blew my mind. I was just, what? I know that there's like Winsor Newton, some of their paint lines, they get like some of their particular things, they get really pricey. Same with the brushes and stuff, right? But it's Winsor Newton. They're like the Rolls Royce of fucking art supplies. Anyway. Bar for cheap. Holy fuck, made me spit out my drink. For fuck's sakes, Kris. Yeah, I know. That blew my mind. Dark Commission Winsor Newton are $9.60 per 37 mil tube of metallic. Yeah. So 9.6 British pound. Just double it, and that's Canadian. That's the Canadian price tag for a tube of paint. A tube. Only the elite use tubes. That's it. So that's just like Scott was saying earlier about the whole argument of Xbox and PlayStation, which was best, and PCs looking at it. That's the same thing. Dropper bottles and paint pots, that's Xbox and PlayStation arguing, while tubes is in the back laughing. Because only the elite paint with tubes. Kim, can't see what the price are. I'm watching on my phone, but 6 tubes of high quality oils for $100 is not bad. I have tubes that are $35.40 for $37 in my collection. Really? Holy Christ. See, I usually only get like Roller Downey or I can't remember what the other one is. It's not Winsor Newton. I have a few Winsor Newton oil paints, but like because there was a particular hue that I liked, and I was like, oh, I'll get it. Yeah, whatever. It's only like little small tubes, and it's like cost me like $15 for a small little tube, and I was. Whereas Roller Downey, I pay $15 and I get like a big fat tube. Like here, hold on. Most of my oil paints that I use for my painting. Fuck! I thought I left my oil paints in here. Must be in my other room. I thought I had my. Oh yeah, no. Here's one of my tubes. Fuck's sakes. Dollar Rowney. They're Georgia, and these are. Well, here's my phthalo blue, and this is what 7.6 fluid ounces or 225 mils, and this is usually about little under $20. And this is what I pay, but this is what I use for my canvas work. I've just been using it since college. I like the viscosity. I like, I like the consistency, and I'm used to how it works with particular mediums and stuff. And so yeah, that's what I use. I don't get caught like with my oil painting. I'm more concerned with my vision than I am with my material. I have worked with various materials. I found materials that I like. And then it enables me to see my vision, right? And honestly, with miniature painting, it's kind of a similar thing. Like, getting caught up in particular paint brands and stuff like that doesn't really make a lot of sense versus mastering the materials at hand. And I often cite the example of using cheap dollar store apple barrel craft paints to paint miniatures. But if that's all you've ever used, you will master. And if you employ the various techniques of painting to those material, you're going to get fantastic results. It's not the paint that makes great paint jobs. It is you and the time you spend mastering your materials and your technique to see your vision forward. That is what makes great miniature painting. So it's not the paints. It's never the paints. Right? It's just like cameras. It's like tools, drills, jackhammer, whatever. It's not the brand name. Those are just brand names. It's just people trying to sell you shit. Anyway. Scott Radom. Kris, that price breaks down on the oil to 72 cents a mil. Not too far off from contrast. If you bought it at the sale price of 114, it's way cheaper. Sophie, I think Hobbycraft are cheaper. Sophie, Facebook robs you, Kris. Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Dark Commission. Dick Turpin was an infamous highwayman hanged in York in 1739. Yeah, I'm afraid I'm not up on my British history, so that one would just flew right over. Jabba's Left Nut. The Instagram people I follow use it to guide people to their Patreon channel for tutorials. Yeah, I don't really do that. I probably should do a little bit better job of just doing that, but I'm just tired of fucking every time I post something. I get fucking bunch of ads. Do you want to promote this? Do you want to give us more money? How much do you want to spend on promoting this thing? And like, fuck off. No, I just want to post it, share it, and be done with this. Like, I just want to create fucking shit. And yeah, it just annoys the shit out of me. No, fuck off. Because they're not sharing my work anyway, right? I don't think a lot of people see my work for whatever reason. Discoverability. Like, I'm only concerned with and TikTok. I get way more views for my silly shit on TikTok than I do on all the other social media other than YouTube. So yeah, right now, like, if I probably would be okay if I just stuck to TikTok and YouTube. That's it. Jabba's Left Nut. The Instagram people I follow. Oh, I already read that. Spencer Sparks. Do you use golden acrylics? Yes, I do. I use golden acrylics. For miniatures? Yeah. Oh yeah. I've got a whole bunch of golden colors right there. I'm a big fan of their high flow line. Golden high flow. Yeah. Oh yeah. I got a whole whack ton of this stuff. I love these paints. For miniature painting, the only thing I would caution, if you are not a fan of a glossier finish, then you have to pick up matte mediums. I would use Golden's matte medium, and then just add it to the paint as you paint, or use it as a varnish once you're done your paint job, and it'll knock the shine off of it. That's it. That's the only thing. If you're not a fan of glossy finishes, but when you're playing with their transparencies, which I really enjoy and work really, really well, is they transparent paints that finish glossier tend to look way better on top of a metallic paint as opposed to other colors, for whatever reason. But if you're not crazy about that glossy shine, then yeah, you can always matte it down. You can matte it during, or you can matte it afterwards. Doesn't really matter. But golden paint lines, yes, I enjoy golden paints. Liquitex, I enjoy Liquitex, but I find myself using golden more often. Golden just has, even though I think Liquitex is the bigger of the two companies, but I kind of prefer golden in that regards, especially for miniature painting. I did a tutorial on Jane Czar, the newer sculpt of Jane Czar. That was painted almost entirely in golden colors, in golden paints. So if you want to watch that tutorial, whichever direction the fuck it is, I think it's over here. Maybe I'll put the link in later. Maybe, I don't know. But either way, if you go to my Fresh Tips playlist, you'll see, if you scroll down, it was because I think it was like a year or two ago I painted Jane Czar. And yeah, she was done entirely in golden paints. That one really was just less like to demonstrate, using paint. paints that are not typical of miniature paints. Because again, Water-based acrylic paints. They're all pretty much the same. Pretty much. They all act the same way. They all have similar dry times. Yeah, some might dry a little slower than others. Big whoop. You can just slow that down with more retardant. Yeah. Some have glossier finish. Some have matte finish. Right? But again, I mean, if you are into a gloss finish or a matte finish, if you are really that concerned about it, you just do that at the end. Or you add the medium to the paint during. Like, again, getting worked up about a paint that finishes matte on its own, okay, sure. But that's not a make or break for me as far as a paint line is concerned. Actually, finishing glossy, I prefer, because when you are working with metallics, especially a lot of us hobbyists, we work with metallic paints. Glossier finishes look better initially when you are applying it on a metallic. If you're not crazy about it, then you can always matte it down, which yields a different result. But see, personally, like if you okay, where you really want a gloss color or glossy finish is when you are working with chrome metallics. That's when you really want a glossier finish, is with chrome. When you have that fine mirror chrome finish, you want a perfectly clear color on top of that. If you're going to shift the color anywhere, in any direction, add shadows, change the values, whatever it is, right? You want it to finish glossy and clear. If it finishes matte, it completely kills the mirror shine. It completely kills that mirror finish. Fuck, I'm having a hard time speaking. Not enough coffee, I guess. But anyway, yeah. Kim, I got some golden acrylic artists and high flow line and so flat line. Golden makes good paints. Yeah, they're just paints. It's just paint, man. It's just paint. Like, again, I've seen people use dollar store paints and expensive paints and come to great results. Like, it's not the paint. It's not the paint. It's the artist. It's not the paint. It's not the tool. You can't blame the tool. Paint is just a tool. Sophie, I won't mind having one of the vibrating paint pot mixer thingy. They come in handy. Yeah. No, the Vortex Mixers? Yeah. Definitely. Pick one up. The company that I use for the Vortex Mixer, the E-Science or whatever the hell it's called, yeah, they kind of been not talking, but you know. Anyway. Kim, the Winsor Newton Artist line of acrylics, the highest quality they do. They're the cheapest tube at is 27 euros, at least in my art supply store. Sure. Scott, I'm out. Tea time coming up fast. Got to get booze to the villa with the wife and brother. Have a good one, guys. 2 paints for life. 2 paints for... You know what, Scott? That's the name of the show right there. 2 paints for life. That's it, man. Because you're not an elite painter unless you're using tube paints. Tube paints for life, people. That's how you separate the noobs from the pros. It's tube paints. Fuck. Oh shit. Scott Radin, booze to the gills, I meant. What a weird autocorrect. Oh, is that what you booze to the gills? Gotta get booze to the villa. Booze to the villa, man. Word to your mother. Though maybe I may get booze to the villa. I'm off to find the villa, folks. Yeah. Spencer Sparks, thank you for explaining the tips for golden high flow. Any advice for heavy body acrylics? Heavy body acrylics, like for miniature painting? Well, Citadel Colors are, I consider that Citadel color, like the regular opaque Citadel paints, not the contrast stuff, but just the regular Citadel paints, I consider those to be more like heavy body paints. And I believe there's a reason why Citadel uses more of a heavy bodied paint. But yeah, I would consider Citadel more of a heavy body paint. Heavy body acrylics, although like Golden and Liquitex, they're heavy body paints. Some of their paints are really thick. Like you can practically sculpt with this stuff. For miniature painting, it's not typically ideal. Not to say that Citadel paints is a heavy body, like liquid. Like if you've played with Liquitex or Golden's heavy body paints, that shit is thick. Like I said, like you can practically sculpt with that. You can't, but I'm saying like it's practically like it's really thick. Now, sometimes you want that, but that tends to be more for effects. Like for example, I use like heavy body gel for water effects, for creating waves. Works great. Does what I want it to do. Achieves the particular look that I'm looking for. But when painting miniatures, that's not typically ideal because oftentimes we want a flat, smooth surface on the model, and so using a heavier bodied paint tends to leave a lot of brush strokes behind, and that's why we tend to not gravitate towards heavier bodied paint. We actually prefer paints that are more like watercolor or just a very thin body, almost like ink. We when we are talking miniature painting, like for wargaming purposes, we prefer paints that act more like watercolor paints. And our brushes that we typically use, like the good brushes, they're watercolor brushes. So realistically, our painting in as far as miniature is concerned is more like watercolor. So if you're looking for tips and tricks in technique, look to watercolor artists, not miniature painters, watercolor artists. And you're going to find there's a lot of similarities in technique that they employ in their studies. So if you really want to get into it, look to watercolor artists, along with acrylic artists, and yes, other wargamers. But that's oftentimes, like I said, I was talking earlier, information seems to flow into wargaming painting, and very rarely do I see anything come out of it. Again, please, if anybody knows that something that was first developed in wargaming that has affected other branches of art, let me know, because I can't think of one. But I'm sure something has, but I haven't seen it. And I've been around this shit for 30 years, so you tell me, because maybe somebody's seen it that I haven't seen it. I'm not saying, again, I'm not end all be all of knowledge here. I'm just saying I haven't seen it. But yeah, heavy body acrylics, yeah, I consider Citadel to be more like a heavy body acrylic just because it tends to be thicker than, other paint lines, but I think there's a reason for that. That's not part of the painting, right? And if you ever watch any Citadel painting tutorials, the first thing they do is always dip the brush in a bit of water to thin the color out a bit, right? Because again, it's that thicker body to it. But I think that the reason Citadel goes with a heavy body or a thicker bodied paint is more towards the shelf life of the paint as opposed to the actual workability of it. Artists who are working with a heavier body paint, they prefer to work with it because they're after a particular end result as opposed to what they can do with it, right? Miniature painters were often concerned with how it lays on the surface, not being too thick, obscuring details, and of course, color transitions and stuff like that, glazing, and you know what I mean? Like all these various techniques that we often use. That's why we go with these thinner bodied paints, is because of what kind of things we can achieve with those particular colors as opposed to thicker colors, right? So with heavy bodied acrylics for miniature painting, yeah, you're going to have to thin it down to get smooth results on the model. That's why you will hear people talk about paints that finish really thin and have really strong color and strong pigment. Those are the qualities we're often looking for because you don't want to obscure the details of the model, right? That's why. Hopefully that helps. Who asked that? Spencer. Spencer Sparks. Kim, scale color artists. Acrylics are a great heavy body paint that made for the hobby. They're not expensive, super good paint, and I have had the full line since the Kickstarted them back a few years back. Sure. Java. Oh, that's Sophie. Dark Commission. I'm back in the money. I just bought a car after some Thanson a year without, and I'll be playing my first X-Wing tournament on Sunday. First game in 28 months. Yay. Cool. That's cool. Yeah, X-Wing? Yeah. See? Dark Commission is a fabulous painter, miniature painter, and yet goes in for a game of X-Wing. Why? Because he doesn't have to paint anything. Don't have to paint shit. You just buy the models and fucking play. Which I think is why it led to its popularity and fast adoption amongst gamers. It's because you just get the model, buy the model, fucking start playing. You don't have to do shit, right? Dark Witch, exactly. Yeah. Scott Radom, man, never mind about the Gulf. It's raining here, or it's raining hard here. Oh yeah. Oh. Is it hot where you are? Because Scott, you're in what? Saskatchewan, isn't it? Saskatchewan. Yeah. I understood that you guys got wicked heat. I mean, the whole planet's getting wicked heat. Well, the northern hemisphere, I should say. Anyway. Sophie, wow. Have you done dioramas, Kris, or considered doing some? I know you need plenty of space to display them, but I would like to see how you go about it with your building and painting talents. Dioramas? No. I haven't done a diorama in a very long time. Not since I was subscribed to White Dwarf, and I was, getting bombarded with that magazine, and, because there was always, like, Mike McVeigh was always doing dioramas and stuff like that. And that's the last time, I think. But no, I can't even think of the last time I was doing a diorama. When last time I did a Golden Demon entry, do I still have my base for it? I think I do. It was the last time I was playing around with, here it is, with a diorama. I had done, now, some of you may or may not have seen I have a Viper jet bike with a guy standing on the back. It was my old Nadu Fireheart for the Eldar. And I did this base for it. And this is about as close as I would do a diorama. So it was, battlefield, looks like craters, right? Torn up fence. And then the Viper was sitting here. And it was supposed to be like, I was going to have like more dudes running around, but then deadlines and, it was Golden Demon, right? And so anyway, this is dusty as hell, by the way. So the Viper was going to come this way here, and it's all set up. Like it would mount up to right to this point here, and it would sit there, and he's like all charging and blah blah blah. Anyway, that's about it. But the main thing, which I thought was fun at the time, was I did this to the base. You may or may not see what the base is shaped as. You see it? If you don't see it, then I can't help you. This was an Eldar model with this base. And this was a Golden Demon 2000? Was it 2000? 2001? It was Games Day Canada, anyway. But anyway, that was way back in the day. This is probably the last time I did an elaborate base and, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. It made like the first draft or whatever, and it didn't place though. Again, time constraints. I couldn't quite put all the time in, and it's okay. It's all right. It's all right. I've posted pictures of my conversion. I still have the conversion because it's fun. As I'm hoping one day he comes back. Nadu Fireheart. I'm hoping one day comes back to the Samhan Craft world. I'm hoping. Jordy Gamer Guy. Hey, how's it going? Not bad, Jordy. Thanks for asking. Paul Ross. Yo, what's up? Yo. Word. Word. Nothing's up. You know what? What time we at? Holy crap, it's already 2:00. Jeez Louise. Okay. Let's do an email. If you are wearing headphones, turn them up or down, because here it comes. Yeah, we'll do the classic. It's email time. First one is from Nick Jones. Hi, Kris and monkeys. As requested, here are the Dark Angels featured in my previous email. Painted these in 2020 at the beginning of the pandemic. That just sounds like that's just the way stories start these days, right? At the beginning of the pandemic. Was to be the start of a 4 warlords type of thing at the gaming club. Paint a new unit each week and see the army grow sort of thing. But, well, we all know what happened. After project sitting waited for me to go back to them, base edges are goblin green to tie them in a bit with my old Marine Dark Angels, which I started in the early 2000s, which were all based with goblin green and flock. Classic style. Have also included pics of one of my old Marines, a Deathwing veteran in power armor. I know, heresy, right? I use him as a lieutenant, probably painted him about 10 years ago. We'll take some pics of the Eldar and send another email later in the week. Thanks, Nick, aka the Auditor 19. So we were looking at his work on the Instagrams. And I was like, wow, those models look really fantastic. And I love the Goblin Green rims. Goblin Green is one of those elite moves for your bases. If you are not painting your base rims Goblin Green, you are not elite. You're not telling everybody you're elite. Anyway. Love the paint job. Love the decals. Oh, we even got the little checker pattern on the knee. Nice. Very nice. Yes. Very good. Good. Yeah, I like them. Oh, I like the work on the sword. I like that. Purity seals. Look at the writing. Very nice. Very nice. Yes. Nice work with the transfers, too. Here's an older one. I think he said it was like 10 years ago. Deathwing. I think it's not heresy if you have regular Marines in the Deathwing color, because it's the Deathwing is the inner circle, right? And there's captains and lieutenants that would have it, right? I would think. I don't know. Unless, of course, they change that. Nice work on the plasma. Really nice work on your transfers. I like how your transfers are, like, they're seamless into the model. Because I can see, like, that Devastator pattern on the shoulder. Yeah, that looks like it's painted on, but I know that's a transfer. It's really nice work. Good job. Barrels are drilled out. Good job. Goblin green rim bases. Good job. This is all win as far as I'm concerned. This is all win. You are winning. Just building up his ego, right? He's like, oh, I know, I'm winning. I know. His head's just inflating right now. I know it. I know his head's inflating like hell right now. No, these look great. Nice and clean. And Space Marines, again, Space Marines, they look cool, all weathered up, and they look cool when they're all like crispy clean. Either way, Space Marines are just one of those armies that can look good painted in either fashion. Yeah. Yeah. Very good. Yeah, I like them. I mean, it's they're ready for the tabletop. Like, these are good painted miniatures. Like, if you went to a tournament, like these are highly, like, high quality, I think, in a tournament fashion. Oh, look at the little aspects, the scanner. Look at the detail. Do I got this on the right window? Yeah, I do. Can we zoom in a bit on that? Look at that. You free-handed that? That's impressive, bud. Yeah, buddy. I'm not your guy friend. Yeah, that's I like that. That's nice work. Yeah. Oh, a Dreadnought. A Redemptor. I do like the Redemptor. I usually shit on Space Marine stuff, but I do like the Redemptor. It's a cool looking dreadnought. It looks like a dreadnought. And it's the appropriate size amongst Space Marines for being a dreadnought, you know? In my opinion. I know there's plenty. I like that you went with the bold red on the guns too. I like that. Again, he's very old school feeling. Very old school. And the green rim, elite move. It's an elite move. And I don't care what anybody says. It's an elite move. Oh, very cool. Oh, very nice. Hellblasters. Because giving Space Marines more plasma weapons was, you know, what they were lacking, right? Like, Space Marines, they needed a unit that was, like, all blaster. Next email is from Nick. It is, like, continuation of stuff. Oh, it's the Eldar. Ooh. Hi, Kris and monkeys. As promised, here are some pics of my Eldar army. I started painting this army about 20 years ago. It was my 3rd edition army and was the first army that I painted with Citadel Acrylics. Prior to that, I had been painting with Humbrol enamels, as I started out painting Matchbox and Airfix scale models as a kid, and that's what I had on hand when I discovered 40K in the late 80s. Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. I think everybody who's of a similar age, I think that's pretty much what our journey was into this wargaming. Anyway, it was a well-used army, so forgive the real-life battle damage that's showing here and there. I really need to go over the army and clean up somewhat at some point. I love the original sculpts for Aspect Warriors. One day, I'll finish painting full squads of each of the types. I have them all in a box somewhere. I continue to add new units every now and then, but of course, I still use Goblin Green and flock basing method for them. Thanks, Nick, aka the Auditor 19. And yeah, you know, again, like I said, flock, Goblin Green rims, elite. Again, you are... It's an elite move. I'm sorry, but it's an elite move. Guardians. Dire... Oh, the old... these are the old Dire Avengers. These are like the Rogue Trader era. Wow. Very nice. I still have a few of these in my collection as well. Oh, look at the Guardians in the back, too. Those are the old plastic ones. These are the mixture of the two. Yeah, these are the older Guardians with the close combat sprue. Because some of the heads are the really old ones, like these are the Rogue Traders and the early plastics. Yeah. The older pewter ones. Lovely. Lovely, lovely. This is obviously new, but look at the base. The base. I love it. Love it. Love it. It's win. It's all win. Snipers when they still had las guns. Very, very cool. Older Warwalkers, but with newer weapons. The pewter Warwalkers with plastic weapons. Rogue Trader era Banshees. Very nice. Scorpions. Very cool. Jet bikes. Looks like all the plastics, the older ones. Oh, the hexagon bases. Oh, shit. I like the Dark Reaper. It's a mixture of the older and the 3rd edition. I did not care for those 3rd edition Dark Reapers. Rogue Trader era Dark Reapers are better. And the new version of Dark Reapers. Kick ass. Fire Dragons. Very nice. Nice and clean. I like. Very old school vibe. I'm in for the old school vibe. Yeah, these are the first plastic Guardians. Up until that point, up until the release of these Guardians, they had been pewter Guardians, the older ones, and these were the first plastic ones. Oh, we didn't get a look at the Wave Serpent though. Aww. It's a wave. I mean, you've seen one Wave Serpent, you've seen them all, but yeah, awesome stuff. Thank you for sharing that with us, Nick. Yeah, love it all. Like I said, Goblin Green rim bases. That's elite. That's always chef kiss. That's always a chef kiss. Sophie, 2000. It's a couple years older than me. Shut up. Yes, I know, we're all old. Rumen, has to be Goblin Green from a tube, though, to be proper elite. Otherwise, it's just a troop. Yeah. Goblin Green from a tube is the elite of the elite. That's like there's Navy SEALs, and then there's SEAL Team 6, right? Goblin Green out of the tube for your bases in flock, that's SEAL Team 6 type stuff. That's Nick Jones, Goblin Green is the is the king of paints. Yeah. It's the Nick of paints. It's the Nick of paints. Sophie, lovely Dark Angel, very well painted. Yes, the Dark Angels look fabulous. I thought they were great. Paul Ross, I need to go take a shit. Be right back. All right. Thanks for sharing that with us. Kevin Cabal, beautiful work, Nick. In fact, why do I keep saying Nick before the words? Nick Jones, transfers are Microsol and then Lamy and Medium on top. Learned well from your tip vids, Kris. Yeah. Oh, awesome. Yeah. Well, that's probably why I approved of it. Yeah. No, I could tell because, again, when you go through that step, you use the transfers solution on top of the transfer and then seal it. Yeah, it's indistinguishable from the rest of the paint job, and yeah, it's really good. Nick Jones, no, the Auspex is a transfer. Oh, really? Oh man, I thought that was freehand. You had me fooled. Where is there a transfer for the Auspex? Where's that transfer? Is that from a Games Workshop transfer sheet, or is that from another? Or did you make it? Did you make the transfer? I know I gotta know now, Nick, because I had no idea that if that transfer is made by Games Workshop, I had no idea. I don't have every transfer sheet for the Games Workshop has ever produced. So, yeah, if that's from a transfer, then let me know what transfer sheet that's from. Scott, good, nice job, dude. Yeah. Dark Commission, nice armor. Yeah. Nick Jones, I knew you'd love the hexagon bases. Oh yeah, I love the hexagon bases. Oh yeah, all the old flyers from Space Fleet, jet bikes, anything hovering, like the Imperial jet bikes from way back in the day. Yeah. Oh yeah. Hexagon flying stance, the best, man. It's peak. It is peak nostalgia. Jabba's left nut. Green rims are elite. Brown rims are just wrong for the weirdos. Scott, rain broke. See ya, folksies. Later, duder. Nick, yeah, the Auspex is a GW transfer, one of those older Marine sheets. Really? Send me a picture of which transfer sheet. Like the old small ones, right? Like the old small little transfer sheets. Really? Yeah, there must have been a point when. Yeah, I had no idea. Send me a picture of which transfer sheet that is, or which kit that it came from, because I'd like to know. Just for my own education. Dark Commission, episode 388. If your rim is green, see a doctor now. No way. If your rim is green, don't see a doctor. Take that shit on the road. I don't fucking know. I've got nothing. Nick, will do. Yeah, or share it on Discord or something. Yeah, but I don't know if are you on Discord, Nick? But anyway. Next email is from our good buddy Kevin Cabal. Hello, Kris, our magnificent mustachioed monkey master. I needed to delve into another aspect of our hobby because the 37-year backlog of miniatures in my pile of opportunities, plus a monster stack of commissions, just aren't enough for me to do. It's just not enough. It's just not enough. You need something more. I have long admired the skills of great miniature sculptors whose models I love painting. Jess Goodwin's, Eldar, Tom Mayer's, Raoul Partholines, and anything sculpted by the Perry twins, to name just a few. Yeah, just a few. Just a few. Since I have used green stuff as a gap filler for years, I thought I would watch a few videos on YouTube to take a crack at sculpting something myself. This was all I could think of that wouldn't be too complicated when I started playing with the green stuff. I must have had Nurgle on the brain. All green stuff with airsoft BBs and desiccant balls on 32mm GW bases. Excuse me. Here are some pics of the sculpt. It is primed and then painted. I think I will have to do the remaining Chaos Gods as practice. Cheers from Vancouver Island, Kevin Cabal. Kevin, I thought you were American. Or is Vancouver Island? No, Vancouver is Canada. Anyway. Look at this. Nurgle base of sorts. Very cool. It's a 32mm base. Got lots of Nurgle stuff going on. Yeah, very cool. Ooh. Got some priming going on. Looks almost like you did like a pre-shade on it. Oh, back to green stuff. Did you paint any of these things like eyeballs? I hope you did. I hope you painted at least one of these little round things as an eyeball. Please. And maggots. Oh, they're maggots. Pustules, tentacles, maggots, and I don't know, whatever those barnacle things with 3 dots in them are. Very, very cool. I dig. Nurgle approves. I know Nurgle approves. Ooh, the maggot thingies looks gross here. They look like, what are those damn leeches that are kind of that blood color? Are they called blood leeches? Anyway, freaky looking. Love it. Fantastic. Yeah, and I think, yeah, you might have to do all 4 gods as practice because, yeah, that's pretty damn cool. Just watch out when you get to the Slaanesh portion. Doing some dildos or something. Why is it all the time with Slaanesh? It's always immediately dildos and vaginas and, stuff like that. Like, why is it immediately we always jump to that? Anyway. Where am I? Nick Jones, will do. Yeah. Paul Ross, do you like carbonara? Carbonara? Do I like carbonara? What is carbonara? Am I getting set up for a joke? Is that what it is? Pasta? Yeah. Simple carbonara? Yeah. Spaghetti carbonara? Okay. Do I like it? Sure. Spaghettis? Yeah. Sure. I like it. I like spaghettis. Jabba's Left Nut. There is a money-making website for you to jump on and corner the market. Only the rim. What color is yours? Dark Commission. Great handcrafted base and not 3D printed. LOL. Yeah, no, exactly. Like, and I mean, like, it's practice, right? And again, like, if you are interested in, taking up a bit of sculpting and you want to noodle around on the conversion, or making little skulls or little pouches on a model, right? That's sculpting. That's playing around with it, right? Making a custom base and just going Nurgle and making it really freaky looking, right? Yeah, those are all opportunities to practice and again, whenever you're looking to venture off in painting and sculpting and what have you, yeah, take the opportunities where you find them, and if you're not finding them, then you make your own opportunities. Yeah. Chemical Ball, thanks, Dark. Nick Jones, the sculpted base is gross. Good job. Great job. Yeah. Job of stuff nut. This idea is taking form only the rim. Stop. Stop. Anyway, next email, because we got a few minutes. Holy cramolis, we're already 21 minutes OT. Next one is from our good buddy, Scott Radham. I was Calgary last week. I was Calgary? Okay. Sounds like somebody was drunk when they were writing this. Weekend and got to dip into a hobby store that had some ranges I don't have access to locally. Got some ammo products, AK regular acrylics, and fancy ass, I'm not going to say the name, 502 tubes. The tubes. It's all about the tubes. It's elite. Tubes are elite, people. Sure didn't need the paint, but I find picking up some new colors or producers can be really invigorating as the shiny new toy syndrome kicks in. Yes, I agree. That is something that when you pick up a new paint, just to try out, you get excited and it makes you excited to play with paint. I concur. Sure didn't need the paint, but I find picking up some new... Oh, I already read that. Really enjoyed pissing around with the new heavy-bodied acrylics. It's quite different using them quite a bit thicker than I usually do. Coverage is not good. That's not the deal breaker for me, as I don't mind lots of layers and such. On this Nurgle dude, the armor, pants, boots, everything but the skin was done with tube paints. I wouldn't say this was my finest work, but it was fun. I also picked up some enamel washes like streaking grime and rust. This shit is magic. Love it. So let's have a look at Scott's work. Oh, look at that. Yeah, I dig it. I dig the work, what you did with that skin. Oh, right where it transitions into that pink, like where it goes from the flesh to the purplish values, that transition area. Yeah, that like at this distance, it almost has that veiny like pattern, like in really bloated, corrupted, rotting flesh. I dig it. That works for me, man. And as far as being thicker paints, yeah, the coverage tends to be, vary, but yeah, again, we were talking earlier about the, the consistency of paints and stuff, and yeah, it's kind of interesting. I usually don't use a heavy body paint, like typical heavy body paint, not Citadel paints, but a proper heavy body paint, but yeah. Yeah, very cool. I dig the flesh. The flesh is where I immediately went, and I'm still looking at the transitions and like the texture created there. Like it looks like veins. Like remember that scene in 7 when they find the big fella dead at this table? That's what this reminds me of. It's very cool. The green, I love the green. The armor, yeah, looks fantastic. Base, fantastic. All looks really good. The flesh, awesome. I love the flesh. I love the way you did the flesh. Very, very cool. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I had a burp there. Built up. Ooh, bum crack. Ew, gross. Bum crack. It's kind of interesting how we get this really crisp details on the shoulder armor, yet with the pants and boots it feels softer. I realize you're just noodling around here, playing around with the paints and everything like that, but yeah, it's kind of interesting where you have basically like highly rendered areas and softer areas. And it would be interesting to do it. Like you obviously did this deliberately, but I mean, like you were just playing around. But to deliberately take those choices and apply it to a model, it's almost like when you look at a camera, like a picture, and say for example the person's face is sharp and fully rendered, and yet the hair is soft, or the other details are soft. You know what I mean? Like drawing focus by rendering areas in clarity and leaving other areas softer so that the eye is only staying within those areas. It's a very interesting concept. I love the flesh. For me, the flesh is the win. I love how the flesh looks here. Like that's Nurgle. I probably would have went a little deeper on the nipples, and I probably wouldn't have gone such a harsh dark shadow in the rotted areas, like the torn flesh. But it doesn't do anything bad for me. I think it's still fabulous. Again, the flesh looks fantastic. I like the flesh. That's just gross. Yeah, that's really cool. Thank you, Scott, for sending that in. Awesome stuff. I think Scott's already taken off. Gone drinking. Gone day drinking. Job stuff nut. Holy shit, that's amazing. Yeah, it's really... No, Scott's a fabulous painter. I mean, I don't think we really need that reminder, do we? Paul Ross, I'm going to go smoke some weed. See you later, dude. Later, dude. Sophie, love it. I would say it's dad, as he doesn't watch much YouTube. LOL, but best not. I might not be het next week if I did. I did not understand that, Sophie. What? Sophie, I don't know. I don't know what that is. I'm constantly amazed at how people in England don't speak English. Yes, Sophie, I'm making fun of you. Alrighty, last email. This one is from our good buddy Kim. Here, some stuff I did not show on the Instagram. There's a few more things when I'm sending an email. Cool. All right. Oh yeah, because you posted these on the Discord. Your work, or did you send an email? No, you posted this on the Discord. The work on the trader from the Kill Team, and I really like the way you painted this guy. This guy's really cool. And some other details. The base of the Titan, very cool. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I like the dark weathering. The brownish weathering on the top of the pink, I don't know, because it shifts towards red, right? Whereas like where it looks more like a black, I think that works a little bit better. More of like carbon kind of thing, right? I mean, it might be all brown. It's just maybe the consistency where you're working with it, but I like it darker like that as opposed to when it gets thinned out and you see more of the red values. I don't know. It just doesn't look quite as good as like, see on the thighs, right? Where it looks more black as opposed to like, say on the shoulder pad where you see more of the brown and that, you know, that to the eye that mixes more with the pink and it shifts towards reds. And I don't know. I think like on the thigh pads where it's more black, the weathering looks a little more like carbon scoring as opposed to like rust. Yeah, I like what you did here with these guys. I like this. That's really nice work. Am I on the right window? Fuck, I can't see. Yeah, okay. I'm on the right window. Yeah, I like the work on the face. That looks really good. Yep. More on the base. More on the back of the dude. He's like, I'm gonna fucking sock you one, bitch. When they were sculpting him, they said, yeah, give me a pose for, I'm gonna fucking stick my fist in your... And I said, yeah, that's it. That's the pose right there. I'm gonna fucking wallop you one. You fucking want one? Yep. Very cool. Oh yeah, these guys, yeah. Yeah, Kim posts pretty regularly on the Discord. And so if you're really enjoying Kim's work, yeah, Kim posts all the time in the work in progress and in the completed channels of our Discord. Be sure to stop by. Give it a thumb up. Oh, look at the demons. Big nurgly dooder. The big Titan in the back. Have you shown us that Titan in the back? The big green one? Have you? I'm sure you probably have, but yeah. Oh yeah. Really nice work on the flesh and the face. Like it's nice and clear. Yeah. Yep. Oh, this is that shit? Yeah, I remember seeing pictures. You were showing pictures of some product. These are water-based? I didn't think these were water-based. I thought these were, I thought they were oil-based. I mean, I didn't read it. I just saw the rust verdigraded moss. I didn't see the water-soluble paint. Now, is it like a water-based acrylic, or is it a water-based oil? Yeah, really nice work. I have these guys. I should get them painted. I have a whole bunch of the Warhammer Underworld stuff. I've been meaning to get it done because I'd like to play some games, and you know, also Aeronautica. I have like a whole bunch of Aeronautica stuff painted, and I've been meaning to, you know, play some games and, you know, film it and stuff. Haven't done it yet. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Been meaning to. But yeah, awesome. Thank you for sending that, sending those emails and stuff in. Awesome stuff. And yeah. So if you want to submit emails, if you're looking for any kind of input and, you know, criticisms or anything like that, I prefer people to send me emails rather than sending it as, you know, like using the hashtag whatever, you know, way of the brush, using the hashtag whatever. But yeah, anyway, so very, very cool. Thank you for sending those in. And again, Kim posts, quite a few of the monkeys post in the work in progress and stuff like that in the Discord. I don't do a Discord thing. Do you guys think I should show the Discord work in progress? I didn't really think so, because some of the stuff, like, there's a lot there. So if you're looking for inspiration or insight or whatever, yeah, join us on the Discord, because, yeah, a lot of the monkeys share their work and their efforts. And, yeah, some of them don't even do social medias. Discord's the only place they share that stuff, so, yeah. But anyway, Kim, or Sophie, I spec English perfectly. Perfunctly. I'm going to use that, perfunctly. Kim, the black weathering is the 502 Starship oil paint. The other one are dark and light rust from the same brand. Okay. Some sort of water-based chemical. It smells like shit. Really? So maybe is it like the water-based oil? Because I know there's oil paints and then there's water-based oil paints. I'm wondering, like, I've never really played with water-based oil paints, so I have no idea really like what goes into making that stuff. Maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe that's why it's a water-soluble, because it's not a water-based, right? It's water-soluble. Yeah. Dark Commission, good stuff. Nice painting, Kim. Yeah. Sharp chemical smell. Yeah. Barfing Sheep, Kim, I'm coming into town in September. Okay, well, Barfing Sheep and Kim are Barfing Sheep and Kim, because they're both in Norway. So are you gonna go visit Kim? That's cool. If you do, I want to see pics. Not of the debauchery or anything like that. I just, you know, just pick you guys smiling, you know, saying hi. That'd be cool. That'd make my day. That would make my day. I think we're done. 33 minutes OT. If you're brand new to this hobby, you want some help with the color scheme, maybe you want to show off what you're working on, maybe a commission painting service, and, you know, just want more eyeballs on your work. Whatever your reasons, feel free to use the hashtag WayOfTheBrush on Instagram and other social medias. But Instagram, because we do the portion of Instagram. But if you want more in-depth question or whatever it is, send your emails to Kris@wayofthebrush.com. If you're going to send pictures, send them as attachments. Don't send them off as links to other sites, because it won't do it. It's annoying, and it's because there's ads and crap. Feel free. Also in the description below is a link to wayofthebrush.com. Central hub of all this silliness, has the links to all the social medias as well as Discord. Join us on Discord. It's a lot of fun. There's only one rule in the Discord. Don't be a dick. That's it. It's the only rule. Otherwise, there's plenty of channels and topics and whatevers, so feel free to join us there or just lurk about, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. Also at wayofthebrush.com is links for t-shirts, or if on YouTube, you can see them down below as well. T-shirts. Want to look like a connoisseur of all that is good and holy in this world? They're wearing a Way of the Brush t-shirt. And if you purchase yourself a shirt, send a picture of yourself in your shirt. I will add it to the Monkey Shrine, which is also at wayofthebrush.com. And of course, you'll find a link for Patreon. Huge thank you to all my patrons for their continued support, and all you brand new ones as well. So a huge thank you to all my patrons for their continued support, and a huge thank you to everybody. Again, if you're interested in supporting on Patreon, There are various tiers of support, and click whatever makes sense to you. And a huge thank you to everybody who does that. If you're not able to support monetarily, i.e. money, thumbing up the video, liking, following, subscribing, commenting, ringing the bell, blah, 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 all appease the algorithm gods as well. And all it takes is a couple clicks of a button, and you're helping me out a great deal. And so a huge thank you to everybody who takes the time to do that as well. Big thank you to Carl, Guymere, all for Beer and Blood Bowl YouTube channel. Check it out if you love yourself some beer, you love yourself some Blood Bowl. Beer and Blood Bowl is where it's at. We always take time to thank Carl, even though he is no longer with us, for taking the time out of his busy day to create the email jingles that play before the email segment of the show. And so always much love to Carl. And of course, speaking of love, much love to my baby brother Evan for creating the intro, outro music that plays at the beginning and end of the show. And so always much love to my baby brother Evan. EB Comics. If you're into rare comics, it's in the description below. EB Comics. EB Comics. Rare. We're talking rare, people. Of course, and you can also follow him on Instagram if you're into beefcake dudes. You know, he's getting jacked. He's getting jacked. He's huge. He's huge. Bar for Sheep. No, Kim. Nice. We got to meet up then. Bar for Sheep. Hell yeah. Kim, are you doing inspirational thread to post reference pick in? What? Are you doing a inspirational thread? Oh, an inspirational thread. Oh, right. Yeah, we talked about that. The inspiration thread. Yes, I will try and make that today, that channel. Unless, of course, one of my moderators beats me to it, either Grim or Twitchy Kranos. But it'll probably be me. I'll make the channel. Yeah, we'll make it very specific. Just inspirational image. Now, an image thread within the thing, it can be abused. But again, I refer to everybody to don't be a dick. So, because I don't want to have to ban anybody for dumb shit. Unless they got a good reason for it. But, I don't know. Just an image thread, it can just be problems sometimes. So, but there's already really goofy channels, and I don't really think it's, you know, that much of a problem. So, yeah. Job is left not. Who isn't into green rims and beefcake dudes? That's my jam. See, there we go. See, there's always something for everybody in Way the Brush. It's a very broad thing. The ecosystem of Way the Brush is very, very broad. So it's very welcoming. And we don't kink shame. We don't kink shame. We try not to anyway. All right. Take care of your brushes. They'll take care of you. And I will see you guys later. Later. I've been burping the whole episode. Fucking hell.